We're on the record in the matter of Church v. Johnson, case D2615515C. Excuse me. First, I want to apologize to everybody. I had every intention of going forward at 1:30, but we were still here at 1 o'clock, I think, from our morning calendar, and had to give everybody a break. So my apologies, but I appreciate your patience. All right, so this is day 4 of the evidentiary hearing, and is there anything that we need to discuss before we resume?
Nothing from plaintiff, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Nothing from the plaintiff, Your
Okay,
Honor.
thank you. Ms. Cole?
No.
No? All right. So we were still in plaintiff's case in chief at the end of the day when we were here on April 20th. And so, let's see, we had the direct exam of Ms. Church. So now we are, and then we had the cross exam of Mom by Ms. Cole. So where are we starting?
All right, I don't believe that Ms. Cole was done with her cross-examination when we concluded for the day.
All right, that's my recollection as well. Okay, so, Ms. Church, guess that puts you in the hot seat again. Let's go ahead and swear in Ms. Church again.
Just like last time. Just face Madam Clerk, raise your right hand.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Cole, you may continue.
You want me to make an appearance?
Oh, you think we should do that? I'm sorry. I've had...
I don't know if you want to make the record clean.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Mr. Schoenfeld.
Richard Schoenfeld, bar number 6115 from the law offices of Chesnoff and Schoenfeld, appear on behalf of the plaintiff Jessica Church, who is present.
Thank you. Ms. Cole.
Lori and Cole, bar number 11912 on behalf of Brooks Johnson, who's also present by Blue Jeans. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. I just saw a flash on the screen that... Okay, never mind.
I brought the marshal over.
The marshal? Okay, all right. All right, we're ready to go. Go ahead, Ms. Cole.
All right, I believe we were talking when we left off about some of your history, Ms. Church, that you quit college and started traveling with a poker player. Now, I recall you testifying that you don't have any mental health history. Is that true?
I have no mental health history, yes.
Well, you know what? Can you just clarify that? Because, I mean, everybody has mental health history. We all have mental health. So can we, like, get that a little bit clearer? Ms. Cole? Has she ever
Yes.
been diagnosed with mental health?
Yeah, what I meant to, when I asked you that is, have you ever had issues that caused you concern over your mental health? Have you taken medication for your mental health? Have you had any doctors treat you? So you want me to slow that down and ask those separately? I can.
Well, no, what you asked, she said she doesn't have any mental health. We
No,
all have
history.
We all have mental health history.
Are you talking to me, Your Honor?
I'm talking to everybody. We all have mental health history. I mean, are you asking for, has she ever had any diagnosis for mental health issues or any disorders? Is that what you're trying to ask her? Because, I mean, we all have mental health. We all have physical health. We have mental health.
I just broke it down into 3 more questions if she wants to answer those. I just gave her that option. Want me to ask it in a different way, Your Honor?
Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health disorders?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Not.
Continue, Ms. Cole.
Okay. Have you had any issues that concerned you about your mental health in the past?
No.
Have you been on any medications for any mental health issues in the past?
Yes.
Why would you get on medication if you didn't have any issues with your mental health?
I feel like that's such like a broad question. I've had anxiety. So I feel like the way that I was prescribed Prozac wasn't like this huge, big, I'm having a mental breakdown, I need medication type of moment. It was very casual. Me being on Prozac was prescribed in a very casual setting.
When were you first prescribed Prozac?
It was in my, I want to say early 20s. I don't remember how old exactly.
What was the initial reason why you went to go get Prozac?
As I said, I don't remember. It was very casual. I remember the setting was very casual. And for whatever I was talking to my doctor about, they recommended Prozac, and that's how I got on it. But it was nothing, there was no specific reason. I didn't seek it out. It came to me very casually.
You mean a doctor didn't actually prescribe it to you?
A doctor did prescribe it to me. But
In
I
an
didn't-
office consultation where there's actual medical records
Yes,
and a
yes,
paper
ma'am.
history.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not casual. That's professional
But I think
diagnosis
what
and
she's-
prescription.
Yes, ma'am. But I think what she's saying is, did I have this mental breakdown where I went to the hospital where I was like, I need medicine to help with my ailment, which was not the case. I think that somewhere along the lines in my early 20s, I went to the doctors, and being at the doctors, I don't know if it was a checkup, I was an athlete, so I don't know what the circumstances were specifically, but I was prescribed Prozac. There was no me searching for, a mental health medicine. It was nothing like that. It came into my life very casually.
Okay, so we can all agree that at some point in your early 20s, you went to the doctor, and for whatever reason, when you were at the doctor's office, the doctor felt that you needed to be prescribed Prozac.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how long did you take Prozac for?
I don't know. I've taken it off and on since my early 20s, so I may have taken it, I've gone years without taking it, so I'm not sure.
Remember reporting to CPS that you also have taken Xanax with Prozac.
In my early 20s, yes, I was prescribed that as well. At what point, I don't remember when, but...
But when your attorney was direct examining you, you said you have never taken anything in your entire life except for Prozac.
I don't recall saying that.
You don't
So
recall
when
saying that or seeing that?
I don't recall saying that.
Saying that?
Saying that, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
What caused you to leave your boyfriend? How long were you dating the poker player?
Like I said last time, maybe 7 to 8 years.
What caused you to leave him?
We wanted a family. I could not get into Canada. We had personal issues. I don't understand how this is relevant.
Start dating Brooks. When did you start dating Brooks in relation to the former boyfriend?
My ex and I were off and on, and Brooks came into the picture when we were not together.
When was that? When did you start dating Brooks?
Around 2010, 2011 maybe.
Did you use any illicit or illegal substances when you were dating your former boyfriend?
No.
What about when you were dating Brooks?
No. Did I use any, I'm sorry, could you cut out illegal and illicit? Is that what you said?
Yeah, or illicit substances.
No.
Okay, so you never used pills with Brooks for you to have without a prescription?
I'm sure there was drug use, yeah, with Brooks.
But you did use drugs then.
Yeah, it's hard to understand you. So I'm trying to follow, but
Did you use drugs when you were with the former boyfriend?
No. He was not a drug user, and no, I did not.
Did you use drugs when you were with Brooks?
Yes.
Okay, what did you use?
Whatever drugs Brooks had.
Specific.
I don't remember. In the beginning of our relationship,
Start there, yes.
I think that Brooks was taking Adderall when I first met him. So, Adderall, I'm sure.
What else?
Marijuana?
Anything else?
No. That was
You
the
never
very beginning of me knowing him. That was it. Those were the two things that he came forward with out in the open that he was using.
Did you use any other drugs when you were with Brooks?
Are we talking? We already know. Yes, of course I have. But are we talking about a specific time frame, or you just mean over the years? Want me to list the drugs?
Yes, I want you to list the drugs.
Okay. Meth, cocaine, Xanax, Adderall, marijuana.
Anything else?
Not that I can recall.
Do you have any problem or chronic drug habits when you were
Absolutely
with
not.
Brooks?
I do not know.
You testified about the incident that happened in Michigan when Brooks got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked a little bit, well, your attorney talked a little bit about your confession and retraction letters after the incident of the arrest. So can you please turn to Exhibit G?
Thank you.
Let me know when you get there.
I'm there. I'm there.
Okay. So you said on page 2 of your letter, hold on, 1 second. That you had new antidepressant medication that sent you into a hysteria, and you became very emotional, felt erratic, and panicked, began crying hysterically, remember running through the woods screaming and having some sort of medicine-induced mental breakdown. The medication mixed with the alcohol intensified everything to the point I felt as though I may be having a psychotic break or extreme panic attack. Now, you talk about here, I grew up in an abusive household and I sometimes get these sort of flashbacks, which tend to make me emotional, but never to the extent of the way it happened. So why did you go back on antidepressant medication at that time? This is dated July 16th of 2019.
Because I was being extremely physically abused by Mr. Johnson. He was bringing me to the brink of death monthly.
Okay, so you believed that antidepressants would help you cope?
I believed that I was being very, very physically abused and I had no coping mechanisms. No, I did not. And I needed something to help me function.
Okay, now you realize that you're in a high conflict custody case in court against Mr. Johnson right now. So when you filled out this letter, your testimony is that you were lying in this letter because you wanted Brooks to get released from jail. On the other hand, court should believe that you're telling the truth today, even though you don't want Brooks to have custody.
It has nothing to do with him getting custody. And I just want to say that these words cannot make my blood on my legs and the marks from strangulation on my neck go away. These words cannot remove that because that really happened.
Okay, so you were lying at this time when you wrote the letters.
I wanted to get, since I am an abused woman, I'm a battered woman, I was doing what I was told to do, actually, and Brooks called me from jail, and he told me what to write. I wrote exactly what he told me to say on that phone call in jail. I don't know if it's possible to get the calls, but he literally instructed me on what to say exactly, verbatim.
Okay, so he called on a recorded line from jail. Fleck called you, got a hold of you, and told you word for word what to write while he
Yes,
was
ma'am.
in jail.
Yes, ma'am. Or I would be the reason why Maddie never saw her dad again.
And he would
Specifically
say
is
he
what he
said
said.
that on a recorded line while he was in jail.
I wish we could get the phone call, yes.
Okay. So following that, you and Brooks left Michigan and moved to Las Vegas. Is that correct?
Yep, he, against the no contact order, took me and Madison to Vegas to get closer to my mom. That's where I was trying to go so I can get away from him. I was trying to get refuge here.
Okay, and your mom is the one that abused you and took naked pictures of you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you wanted to take your daughter to live with your mom.
I wanted to get away from this person who was hurting me physically, yes. And I had no other options. I didn't know what else to do.
Okay, so then when you got here, did you go straight to your mom's house?
My mom said she couldn't help me.
Right, so you waited till you moved all the way here to find that out?
No. So we got here and my mom paid for us to stay at the Siegel Suites.
Wait a minute. When you're saying here, you're talking about Las Vegas, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But your mom lives in California, doesn't she?
She lives in Las Vegas. She's like half and half, but mostly in Las Vegas. My sister and her 5 kids are in California. So my mom resides about, I would say 50-50-ish.
Okay. Go ahead, Miss Cole.
Okay, so you ran to your mom, she couldn't take you, and when exactly did this occur? What month and year?
This was like in August 2019.
Okay. Now, how long were you living with Brooks in 2019 in Las Vegas?
It was probably, we were at the Siegel Suites for maybe 3 months.
Okay, so August, September, and October?
I'm sorry, let me go back with my dates. Sorry, maybe it was more like July. June or July. I didn't have a phone at this time. I didn't have any communication with the outside world. I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody. So I'm sorry if I don't remember dates because I wasn't allowed to have any communication.
Objection, non-responsive, move to strike.
Sustained.
Okay, turning back to Exhibit G, this was dated July 15th of 2019 that you gave your statement tracting anything Brooks did wrong here. So that give you a better time frame when you were in Las Vegas because this was in July. So this happened before you moved to Las Vegas, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so was it a matter of weeks after this that you ended up in Las Vegas?
They held him in jail for 2 weeks, and then after that, we drove to Las Vegas.
Okay, and then you were in the Siegel Suites for 3 months.
About.
Okay. All right. I'm a little confused because in your testimony with your attorney, you testified that you started seeing Trey in the beginning of 2019.
No, I did not say 2019.
Okay. Did say 2019. I wrote down what you said. when did you actually start seeing Trey?
I don't know the exact days. We were in communication in 2019.
With
I
what
don't know when
phone?
the first time I saw him was, but we were in communication in 2019.
Okay, well, you just testified that you had no phone.
I wasn't, and 2019 is a pretty broad, there's many months in 2019. So if I was with Brooks being held hostage for 3 months, then that's only 3 months out of the 12 in the year. So I could have had, 9 other full months of communication.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to get information. When did you have this relationship that began with Trey? That's all I'm trying to find out.
Okay.
You said you had no phone, so
I didn't have
assumed
a phone for 3 months out of the 12 months. I did not have any communication with anybody. I wasn't allowed to go outside, talk to anybody, or have anything electronic for 3 months. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be August, September, and October.
It was about 3 months, and it would be August, September, and beginning of. I didn't have a phone leading up to like the incident in the woods. I was cut off from communication at that point too.
Okay, when did you start seeing Trey?
I don't know.
Was it in 2019?
It was in 2019. Trey is my friend. I have known him for many years. I don't remember the exact day or time or place that I began to communicate with him again, but I have known him for years.
Okay. When did you leave? When you left Siegel Suites, where did you go?
I went to my mom's.
Okay, and then where did you go?
What do you mean?
So how long were you at your mom's when you left the Siegel Suites?
For a few
Long Beach.
months.
And was that in California or Las Vegas?
Las Vegas.
Okay, so did you spend Christmas with your mom?
Yes.
Did you spend Thanksgiving with your mom?
Yes, not with my mom, but those months, yes. So I ended up moving, I think, out of my mom's house the beginning of 2020.
In to Trey's house or somewhere else?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you and Madison moved in with Trey January of 2020.
Yes, about.
Was Brooks advised at any point in time of where you were?
I don't know.
Did you have any communication with Brooks?
The last time I saw Brooks, he beat me up, and I asked him to file for custody.
Okay. That doesn't give me any kind of time frame. Was that before Thanksgiving of 2019 or after?
That was before.
Okay, so before Thanksgiving of 2019 was the time, right before, at that time frame, was the last time you had seen Brooks. Am I correct to understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so after you left the Siegel Suite and you went to your mom's house, did you talk to Brooks?
Yes.
How often?
I needed a few weeks to cool down after what I had gone through, and my mom put some pressure on me, and I think about maybe 3 weeks went by before I started to talk to him again.
Okay. You started to talk to him again, and then did you stop at some point speaking to Brooks?
Well, yes. Yes.
When? When did you stop
After
speaking
the second
to Brooks?
time he beat me up, when I took Maddie to see him, that's the last time I talked to him. So that was in October 2019. I took Madison to go see him, and he was trying to get into my phone, and he was wrestling with me, and he threw me down to the ground, and he was physically abusive to me while I was holding Madison. Madison went flying.
Okay, and that was in October of 2019?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you call the police?
No.
I thought you said you had no phone.
She said, objection, Your Honor. It's argumentative and her answer was no, she didn't call the police.
No,
No.
but
She said-
she said that he tried to get into her phone.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
It was
and
compounded.
this is after the point in time. I'm not. This is not my hostage period. I'm fully escaped. I'm living with my mother at this point. So I have my own cell phone now. Finally.
Okay, so now you have a phone. You're back to visit him in October,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you did not speak to him after that point.
No, I did not. I asked him to file for custody if he wanted to see Madison, but please not to ask me to facilitate visits anymore because obviously I was not a good judge of character of what was going to be safe or not. So I asked him to file for custody, and that was the last time I talked to him.
Okay, and did you call the police during these alleged beatings?
No, I
Hostage
did not.
situation.
We were actually at a hotel, and I went downstairs, and I sat in the lobby, and I actually went there recently and tried to talk to them to see if I could get anybody to help me. But no, I ended up walking to the bus station at 3 in the morning with my child. I did not call the police because as a battered woman, I did not call the police. I regret that, obviously.
Okay, so you took Madison and you left at 3 in the morning and went to the bus stop.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and where did you go with Madison? Bus
Back
stop.
to my mom's house.
Okay, so the bus came at 3 in the morning for you?
We went to the bus station, to the central station, and I waited, got on the bus, and went back to my mom's.
What time did you get back to your mom?
I don't remember. And 3 is just a number I threw out there. I would say if we're going to try to narrow it down, it was between 3 and 5 a.m. I want to say it was closer to 5 a.m. because there was somebody who worked at a Walmart next to my mom's house. I ended up being friends with after this, she tried to give me money, and she was basically listening to me cry, saying that she had a daughter who she lost due to domestic violence. A similar situation to me. So, and I think her shift was a morning shift. So, between 3 and 5, I'm not sure.
Okay, so now circling back to the response you gave about having no mental health issues. Are you aware that in all of the records that have been issued in the CPS case, and we'll go through those, but multiple reports say that you were on a legal 2000 hold in 2015 or 2016?
What does that mean? And where does that come from? Is that somebody just saying that? Because I know as a person, I have never had that happen to me. I don't know if somebody can just say that is, I can, like, if that's just somebody saying it, or...
I'm asking if you're aware that when they talk about your mental health history in the CPS records, they continually say that about you.
I'm not aware, no, but
true.
I'm not aware of that. No, I'm not.
Okay, so you don't remember going to the hospital?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
So are
Did
you
you
saying?
tell-
So are you saying you never went to a psychiatric hospital, or you were never admitted as a patient to
Not
a
that I recall.
psychiatric
No.
hospital?
Not that you recall?
Yes.
Okay, so it's possible that you could have forgotten that?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's true that when you left your mother's and moved to Trey's house, you had no contact with Brooks. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. Because you just testified that the last time that you saw or spoke to him was October of 2019. I just want to make sure my timeline is correct. So you weren't talking to Trey.
The last time, as far as in that period goes, yeah, that was the last time that I had spoken to him. Yeah, when the incident happened at the hotel.
Okay. So how was Brooks supposed to find? Are you aware that he went to rehab right after that? So he had no way to contact you or know what you were doing?
He's been in steady communication with my mother, and my mother is his gateway for information.
Do you have proof of that in the record?
I have emails from my mom, yeah.
Okay, but they're not in the case. You didn't submit them into evidence.
I'm not sure, but she does reference Brooks going to rehab, yes.
Okay. So he was in rehab and you two were not in communication. So when you moved in with Trey, you would agree that Brooks had no idea where you were.
I do not agree to that, no. My mom drove Brooks to rehab, and my mom knew where I was living.
Okay, so you're assuming that your mom told Brooks where you were living.
I know that she did.
Okay. So you had no contact with Brooks until that year. Is that correct?
Until what year?
That year, the year of 2020.
I had no contact with Brooks
Did
until
you?
that year.
Wait.
No,
I need. These are very vague time frames. So
I'm just trying to.
I want to know. In October 2019, when you took your daughter to go see Dad at the hotel, you're saying that was the last time you talked to Brooks. Until when?
Until the following October
Okay.
of the next year when my dad died.
Thank you.
What
So
was
in
the
my mind, the last thing I told Brooks was file for custody if you want to see Maddie. I did not hear from him for a full year, pretty much.
When did you end up hearing from him and why?
My dad died, and Brooks wanted to set something up for him to see Madison during this time that I was grieving.
So Brooks didn't call you because your dad died, you didn't call Brooks?
No,
I
I
was trying to
didn't.
understand that.
I did not call Brooks. I had no reason to call Brooks.
Okay, so Brooks contacted you to see Maddie.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did he end up seeing Maddie?
No, and like I've said before, I believe Brooks is a sociopath, and I believe that he had this whole envision prior to actually talking to me. I believe that he had a narrative that he was going to start asserting into my life, and that's what he did.
Okay, tell me a little bit about the narrative that Brooks was putting together. What do you think he was doing?
So the narrative, what he kept saying that he hopes I'm okay, that he has found Jesus, and keep in mind, he's telling me that all of these things, that he has found Jesus, he is clean, as he is telling me that his wife is dead. So his ex-wife is dead, which is a lie. And you're telling me you found Jesus, but you're worried about me. And these are all in text messages what he's saying. We've already established that he said that Adrian was dead. And now with that, he's saying you're on drugs, you're not well, I'm worried about your safety. He was saying that maybe that Trey was holding me without my permission, that he was going to come save me and Madison. The whole theme basically was that I was unwell, which I don't understand how he would know that I was unwell, but that is what he was setting out to say.
Well, you agree with me that if you were using drugs with him before he went to rehab, and you hadn't gone to rehab, he might be concerned that you're not well because you're still using.
Ma'am, I was not using drugs. I was fighting for my life. When I left Brooks, I was not using drugs. I had not been using drugs for a while. Brooks was using drugs. I was not.
So you weren't using any drugs?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Even
I had not used drugs for at least almost 2 months from the moment that I had actually been able to leave Brooks. There was at least a 2-month period where I used 0 drugs. And I was fighting for my life.
But you agree that if somebody used methamphetamine and broke or had a break for 2 months, there's still a concern because it's a very addictive drug. that they would go back to using it.
I was never a meth addict. I've never ever sought out drugs in my life. I have never ever sought out a drug ever. Anytime that I have ever used drugs, they have been drugs that Mr. Johnson has had in his hands in front of me, and I have dabbled with. I have never asked for drugs. I have never set out with a goal of getting drugs ever in my life.
Okay, well, you're claiming that the patch results are wrong and they're a lie,
They
right?
are.
Okay, but urine and hair is okay.
I
hair
don't know.
test.
All I know is that what I'm putting in my body, and I do not use drugs. Period.
So the first time that you went into options and took a drug test, you had multiple substances in your hair, including meth. Are you saying the hair test was also wrong?
I'm saying that I do not use drugs.
Okay, so are you saying that the patch test is wrong and the hair test is wrong?
I'm saying that I do not use drugs. I do not know why options is showing that I use drugs. I know what I put in my body, and I do not put drugs into my body. Period.
Okay, because there's multiple substances: methamphetamine, amphetamine, ecstasy, MDMA, and THC, I believe, all in your hair. Like large quantities of them. And that's just wrong. I just want to understand your testimony.
Prior to options, I have never had a positive drug test in my life. I have gone many months taking drug tests. Never have I had a positive drug test ever. You pushed very hard for options. I believe that their patch program is a program that is going to be debunked sooner than later. I do not believe that, I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional on their part, but I know what I'm putting in my body. I do not use drugs. I am not putting drugs into my body. That's all I can say about that.
So essentially your testimony is that the drug tests at options they're just incorrect and false for all the drug tests, because you've also had codeine in you've had urine tests there.
I will say to that, how come these other drugs that they're saying were in my system were not in? If I show that there was codeine, where's the meth? Where's the coke? Where are all these other substances? Why were they not in my urine? How come codeine was the only thing that was in my urine?
You realize that methamphetamine does not stay in your urine for a very long time. You can clear your system of it pretty quickly.
No, I do not know that. No, I did not realize that.
Well, I'm not here to teach you about how the drug testing works. I just know if you were aware of that.
I would like to give my blood or something that is more like I was talking to Richard about this months ago. What can I do that is going to be fail proof? What can I do to show I'm aware, I'm situationally aware, I feel like I'm pretty well manicured. I don't feel like I look like a drug addict. I get plenty of rest. Physically, I do not feel like I appear to be someone who is on drugs. I do not speak like I'm on drugs. I do not act like I'm on drugs because I am not on drugs. I have never had any drug issues. I've never had a drug history. And I feel like for someone who was being made out to be such a habitual drug user and a person with mental issues, why have these drug issues and mental issues how come I haven't had a problem with them? You know, I'm almost 40 years old. And all of these issues that I have caused me no complaints in my life thus far. I have no record of any other happenings.
Okay, Ms. Lauren, your next question.
It's true that you've told people all throughout this case that CPS is being paid off the judge is being paid off, right?
No. Are you quoting something or?
Yeah, it's in the CPS records. I'm going to go through them all with you.
All right.
Do you believe that, though? Do you believe that
No.
the judge is being paid off?
No,
I
and I
believe
feel
that-
like you're trying to cause tension right now, but that's okay.
No, I just read through the CPS records,
Well, read
and
it.
it said that you thought that he was being paid off by Brooke's boss,
Who? Who is being paid off?
judge.
The judge? That's what it says?
Because that's what it says you said.
All right, let's hear it. Let's find it.
Exhibit W. Turn to Exhibit W. Book. Then go to Bates 730. So for reference, this is the NIA, which is the Nevada Initial Assessment Report regarding the allegations that you made when you took Madison in for her second sexual assault exam at the hospital. It says here that Madison was interviewed reporting that, quote, "Mommy makes me lie," unquote, in her forensic interview. Then, at the very bottom paragraph, it says, Ms. Church continues to report the sexual abuse, making statements her daughter is being sodomized, human rights are being taken away, and that everyone who does not believe the abuse is being paid off. During the course of the investigation, Ms. Church was asked to submit to drug testing and substance abuse assessment through custody court. Ms. Church stated the custody court judge is against her, and Mr. Johnson's boss paid off the judge.
First
Not
of
remember
all,
saying that.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that I did not take Madison to that forensic test or that forensic interview, and the fact that her answers are being mirrored by me, you're trying to say that I influenced her to say that is ridiculous. Obviously,
I didn't say anything.
Sociopath Mr. Johnson, he told her to say that, and that's what she said. I just want to make that very clear. I had no communication with Madison for weeks. I had not seen her in 3 weeks before her forensic interview. It had been weeks before I had seen her. How could she go to this forensic interview? I hadn't seen her in weeks and say, Mommy makes me lie. I hadn't even seen her in almost a month.
Okay, that's not what we're talking about. She's talking about your statement
Okay,
that
and I just want to make
Mr. Johnson's boss paid off the judge. That's
right,
what
and I
she-
just want to
that's
make it
what she's asking
clear.
about.
I am not saying I'm simply reading the records
Yes.
and what they're
Yep.
saying.
And I remember actually talking to this person that was interviewing me, and I'm frustrated. I have a child who's being sodomized, who's being exploited.
Ma'am, answer the question.
What's the question?
Ask the question, Ms. Cole.
Miss Church, I first said to you, didn't you tell people that the judge was being paid off? You said no. And I said, isn't it true that you told CPS workers that? And you said, find it in the records. Here it is, them saying that that's what you
Can you
told.
read it one more time? Sorry, can you read it one more
Do
time?
you not
I
have
would
it in
like
front of
you to open the book.
I
Stand-
don't.
You don't have the books in front of you?
Can you tell me what to look at again?
Exhibit W. Oh, her Exhibit W is blank.
Oh, okay. That's
Confidential.
because it's confidential. I can't show it to you.
I
I can screen share it.
Okay, no, I wanted to hear it one more time. I don't remember exactly what I said, but what.
Wait, stand by. Mr. Schoenfeld's going to share the page, bait number 730 with Ms. Church. Okay, and so the paragraph that Ms. Cole is,
Oh,
the paragraph Ms. Cole is referring to is at the very last paragraph on the page at the bottom. Go ahead and read it again, Ms. Cole, out loud. She's got the paper now.
Okay, Ms. Church continues to report the sexual abuse, making statements that her daughter is being sodomized, that her human rights are being taken away, and that everyone who does not believe the abuse is being paid off. Ms. Church stated the custody court judge is against her, and Mr. Johnson's boss paid off the judge.
Okay, and then what was the question?
You remember saying that people are paying off the judge,
I
specifically
don't remember
Brooke.
saying that specifically. No, I don't remember saying that I believe the judge is being paid off. No, I do not.
You believe that.
Do I believe that? No, I do not.
And it says that you tested positive for methamphetamine, amphetamine, THC, and ecstasy. You continue to deny any recent drug use and state the positive methamphetamine results is from your prescription of Prozac. Remember saying that?
Since I do not use drugs, I am giving the only information of things I am taking inside my body, and yes, I did say that. I don't know why there was positive tests. I just know I'm not a drug user.
Okay, so you thought the only way you could have gotten those substances in your system is if it came your Prozac.
No, that's not the reason I said that, but I don't use drugs, Miss Cole.
I'm only reading the records and what they say. I'm reading a drug test and what it says. I'm asking you questions about it.
I don't know how they got those results. All I know is that I'm taking Prozac.
Have you considered entering an outpatient program that will regularly test you and report on you? Show that you're not using drugs.
What's an outpatient program?
Any kind of a drug treatment program.
I'm not a drug user, but at this point, I feel like I would be open to doing anything to get you guys on the same page as I am. Because obviously there's some sort of, I don't know if it's miscommunication or what's going on, because I'm not using drugs. So if there's a way that we can be tested for it, that would be something that's more, cut and dry and not something that maybe is affected by, I don't know what the patch is affected by, but
Testified that your boyfriend's truck was, I'm going to switch gears for a minute here. We'll go back to this. Partner's car was vandalized. Are you aware that Brooks and his girlfriend's car tires were all slashed?
yes, I'm aware.
Okay. Do you have any idea who would have done that?
No.
Are you aware that the lady that runs options, car windows got bashed in?
Your Honor, I'm just going to object based on a lack of foundation.
I asked if she knows.
But that just assumes facts, not evidence.
Well, if she doesn't know anything about it, she can say that.
Well, they did mention this at our TPO hearing, so I am aware.
Okay, that there's an allegation.
They brought up her, yes.
All right.
So not that there's an allegation. I was asking if she knew about it.
Based on Brooks's representation at the TPO hearing, I am aware, yes. He brought that to my attention.
When you said, moving to your exhibit book, Exhibit 13, when you said you're positive that Brooks did something to your boyfriend's car, and you saw it on video, turn to the back of the exhibit with these photographs. And it looks like it's a parking lot, and there's someone walking across the parking lot. The back of Exhibit 13.
Mm-hmm.
Are these the images of Brooks that you say conclusively prove that he did something?
Not this angle, but yes, this is from that same event. This is the same night, the same time frame, yes.
Okay, well, I assume you put the best quality photo you could find in your exhibit book since you had the whole video.
I assumed that the video was going to be watched.
Okay, but this is the angle and this is the distance in the videos here in Exhibit 13. These still frame photos that are the last 3 pages before the very last page of the exhibit. And there's no bait stamps on them, so I apologize, I can't tell you what they are. But we have a picture of a handicap space. We have a picture of someone walking through a parking lot. And we have another picture of someone walking through a parking lot. This is the video that you watched that showed to you that it was absolutely, unequivocally Brooks that did this to the car.
Yes, ma'am.
And you identified him from this video.
I know Brooks very well. I know his body type. I know his way that he walks. I know the way that he stays on his toes when he walks. I know that he has a little bounce. I know that's him.
Okay. But I just wanted to clarify that this was the video that you identified him in.
We have him on about, I would say, 10 different camera angles, but this is just one of them, yes.
Yeah, and they're all about this quality, or worse.
That doesn't define the quality in my mind. I'm sorry. I can't.
I know. I'm just trying so I understand.
Yeah.
All right, you talked about your boyfriend pointing a gun at Brooks. Now, you're aware that he was found to have substantiated abuse and neglect charges with CPS over that incident.
Wait a minute, who?
Trey.
Trey had a substantiated abuse and neglect charge over
Yes.
the incident of him pointing a gun at Dad.
Yes. Are you aware of that?
No.
Didn't know that CPS substantiated against him.
No.
Okay, but you know that he was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon
Yes.
and charged with that.
Yes.
He stood trial yet
No.
on that charge. So that charge is pending?
Yes.
And that it was substantiated because he pulled the gun out in front of Madison.
Judge
No.
on the Black Foundation, she already testified she didn't know it was substantiated.
And I
Ms.
bel-
wait,
I'm sorry.
It's in the records. I'll go through it. I'll go back to it. Right in the
that's a
CPS
speaking
record.
objection. Go ahead, Ms. Cole.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm going to overrule that on the basis that that's not a legal objection. Go ahead, Ms. Cole.
So you testified that Brooks was violating some kind of a TPO or no contact order, which resulted in him deserving the gun being pointed at him. That's how I understood your testimony. But you agree with me, Brooks did not even enter your place of business. He was not even within the threshold of the tattoo shop.
I don't know where he
Sitting
was.
out in his. Okay, then he, you know what a TPO or a no contact order suggests, right? He has to have contact with you.
Yes.
Okay, and he wasn't in your shop.
He's
At all.
clever. He's very clever.
I'm trying to clarify why you're accusing him of violating a contact order when he didn't get anywhere near you.
Exactly. He didn't, right? But
Okay, so it's his fault, so he should have had a gun pointed at him because
I'm sorry.
but he didn't violate the no contact order.
I don't know if he violated a no contact order. As far as him being in the vicinity of, perimeters or yards or whatever you're trying to measure something by, my mind, he violated it. He called the shop. He wasn't supposed to call the shop. He called the shop in order to speak to me off the record because he knew that if he talked to me on Talking Parents, the phone would be recorded. He talked to me on the company line, and he was very aggressive.
Objection, non-responsive. Move to strike that.
Your Honor, that was responsive. She asked if she felt.
She was responding to your question. And Ms.
Wait.
Cole, quite frankly, if you object as non-responsive, move to strike everything that this woman's, I mean, we would have no testimony. She is going way, way, way outside the scope of your questions.
I have to stop her somehow. I'm trying to just move on. So I objected to the last comment she made because they were way off topic. So if there's another way.
You did ask her on what basis does she believe that the no contact order had been violated, and she was
Right.
saying that he called the shop to speak to her and that he was aggressive.
Okay, but you don't have any evidence in the record, any kind, that he called your shop.
I have a call log, I guess, of him. I don't have a recording of what he said, and that was intentional on this mastermind's plan here, because he wanted to call the shop, because he's creating a narrative. He's creating a scene. And this is one of the things that he's created here. He's put fear into my mind. He's already threatened me. He's already threatened Trey. He's already got us thinking that our lives are going to be endangered. Now he's calling the shop in an aggressive way. And then when he shows up somewhere that he's not supposed to be, it's going to alarm us. It's going to make us feel like we are not safe, that Madison is not safe, when this person is not doing what the judge has asked him to do. Of course we're worried.
Okay, that's my question. That's my question, though. My question is, he didn't go into your shop. He didn't violate any no contact order. You agreed with me.
No,
he
I
didn't
didn't agree with you.
violate any.
She didn't agree with you, Ms. Cole. Did he physically go into the shop?
He did not physically go into the shop. I don't think that
He
that
didn't. You answered the question.
Yes,
He
I'm
did
sorry.
not physically go into the shop.
For the record, if we replayed what she said he may not have actually violated any no contact orders. What she said.
Okay, she may have said that. I missed that part, but she may have said that. I don't know. Go ahead.
Brooks hasn't pointed a gun at you. Brooks hasn't accused you of molesting your daughter.
Wait, break it down. Has Brooke pointed a gun at you now?
yes. In my life, yes.
Is there any documentation in the record anywhere that occurred?
No, not that I know of. I don't know.
Brooks hasn't reported you for abusing or molesting your child.
Because I haven't.
He was concerned you were on drugs because you used drugs with him before.
Objection calls for speculation.
He admitted it.
I think she's asking. You're asking her. Is that right, Ms. Cole?
Sure, if she wants to answer that.
What's the question?
I said Brooks was concerned about Jessica because she's used drugs with him before.
That's speculation as to what Brooks is concerned about.
If you know.
Was he concerned about you because you've used drugs before?
No, I think he was projecting a false sense of concern, but he was not truly concerned.
Talked about Brooks' past and how he would, I believe you said, has charges for kidnapping?
Oh,
Past?
relating to the wife who was home during one of his crimes, yeah.
There's no record of Brooks having any charges for kidnapping. Right?
You're asking me?
Yeah, if you know.
No, I don't know. From what I know, he's been charged with kidnapping, yeah.
So where's
Okay.
Do you have?
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Well,
Why do you believe that?
Firstly was from Brooks. I'm trying to remember the exact narrative in which I was telling the court this last time. Brooks had the home invasion thing going on. The wife of somebody who he was robbing was home, and he said that she was not supposed to be home. She was the reason that he got caught. Something happened with her, and then that's how the kidnapping charge was brought on. But there was something regarding her that made
Yeah, but